There are a couple different scenarios where the makeover mortgage process can be used. So, who is it that's using the makeover mortgage process? Well, our biggest demographic, and most likely yourself, is someone that's shopping for a new home. So, this is anybody who is shopping for a home and finds that there's something wrong with the home they're looking for, or they're out there shopping, can't find what they want, and they're going to use the makeover mortgage process to create what they're looking for. So, the most common person using the makeover mortgage process is definitely just your everyday new home buyer. The next person that can use the process is actually for an investor, and there are two different styles. There is an owner occupied investor, which means this is somebody that's buying a either duplex, triplex, or a quadplex, one unit, two unit, or two unit, three unit, or four unit property. And just like the residential shopper, they're going to live in one unit and they're going to use the makeover mortgage process to renovate the building. So that is owner occupied. There's also a non owner occupied. So if you're an investor looking to purchase a new home to add to your portfolio, but need to figure out the right way to finance it, you can actually purchase a single family home, non owner occupied, so you won't be the one living in it, and use the makeover mortgage process to put a renovation on that house. Pretty cool, requires a little bit higher down payment, but can be done. And the last one, and this is something that we're actually going to cover in its own module itself, is somebody who has maybe shopped for a home for a while, or they really like their home, but it just needs either updated, or it needs more space, or there was a problem and it needs fixed. So a reno refi or a renovation refinance is for someone who lives in their current home but wants to do an update, wants to add an addition off the back, one of the above. So there are probably some other scenarios that you may want to use the makeover mortgage process, but overall, these are our most popular four by far. Now that we've learned how the makeover mortgage process works, who it's for, it's now time to talk about the different team members you are going to need in order to make the makeover mortgage process work properly, efficiently, and with as little headache as possible. So take some serious note on the next several pages of this module. We're going to go over all of the different pieces. You're going to need a loan officer. You're going to need a realtor. You're going to need a HUD consultant, again, depending on the type of project you're working on. You're going to need your contractor, and ultimately yourself. Everybody's going to have to be on the same page. Everybody needs to have experience and understand the end goal. That way, it's going to be as easy and as fun for you as possible. So now let's start building that team. Although we would always recommend that you work with a Makeover Mortgage preferred lender, we know a number of you guys are going to be coming in, learning this process, and working with a lender that you've already found and has probably sent you our way. So the benefit of working with a lender who knows what's going on is they are going to get you dual pre-approved. So all Makeover Mortgage preferred lenders will dual pre-approve every client, giving them the opportunity to shop for a house that is move-in ready. You make an offer on the home, the inspection wasn't bad, so you just buy it and you move right in. Or on the other side, you find a house that either needs a renovation or is in need of some repairs, and now you have the option to buy that house and roll your renovations into your mortgage. So when you're working with an experienced lender, they're going to give you the opportunity to buy a house either way. The next thing that they're going to do is they're going to collect all of your paperwork. So they're going to collect your last 2 months pay stubs, your last 2 months bank statements, last 2 years tax returns, an application, and some other information to help figure out what kind of buyer you're going to be. That leads us to our next point, which is determining the two main numbers that you're going to need to find out when working with your lender. How much house can you afford? And what is your monthly loan payment going to be? So just because you can afford a $500,000 house doesn't necessarily mean that you want to make the larger down payment, or the larger monthly payment rather, that comes with that. So work with your lender and figure out, if you want to spend $1,500 a month, how much house is that going to give you? If you want to spend, $400,000 on a house, work your way backwards, then what is that monthly cost going to look like? So work with your lender to figure out what it is that you're comfortable with. And then once the actual renovation begins, most lenders hand off all communication to the draw team, but some lenders do stay along to answer some questions that may arise throughout the process, or just to help facilitate and make sure that the renovation portion goes well. So working with a lender, either it being a Makeover Mortgage preferred lender or a lender that you've already found and that you're already comfortable working with, you want to make sure that they are experienced in the process and can tackle those roles easily. The lender is going to be a very, very important piece of your team. Now on to the next member of your team, which is the realtor. You've been dual pre-approved and you're ready to start shopping. So we know that almost everybody out there knows a realtor as a family member or as a friend or as an acquaintance of some kind, whatever it may be, and you're going to be somewhat obligated to work with that person. That's totally fine. Along with your class, there's also a Makeover Realty preferred realtor class that will teach your realtor how to shop using the Makeover Mortgage Process. I highly, highly, highly recommend that you at least suggest to your realtor that they take that course, because there are a lot of nuances that come to this type of project that realtor needs to know about. If you don't already have a realtor, you can use one of our Makeover preferred realtors who have already taken the course and already understand how it works. So what's that realtor going to do for you? That realtor is going to do one of several things, but the first being they are going to help you find your house. So most realtors have access to the MLS. They've got access to listing houses on the MLS, and they're going to help you shop for that next house, or they're going to list your house, or both, depending on your current situation. The next piece, and arguably the most important, and why we suggest that realtors take our course, our education course, is because they're going to help you run comps on homes that fit the Makeover Mortgage model. So not all houses fit into the Makeover Mortgage process. There's a specific kind of house, specific price point, a specific condition that they're in that really makes the process work a lot better. You're kind of shopping like an investor would. You're going to go into a neighborhood, you're going to find a house that is kind of on the lower side, numbers wise, in that neighborhood, and then you've got to be able to envision what that house currently is and then what that house could be. So your realtor is going to be able to run comps and say, hey, if we buy this house at $150,000 and we do XYZ to it, it's now going to be worth $225,000, whatever that might be. And you'll see later why that's so important. But understanding how to run comps, understanding how to shop kind of like an investor would, is going to be very important, and your realtor is going to have to know how that works. The next thing they're going to do is physically show you the homes. So if you are going to be walking through with a realtor that doesn't understand the process, they're not necessarily going to know what to look for. The other flip side to working with a Makeover preferred realtor is they've done this before. They've seen the process, they know how it works, and they have a pretty good idea of what things cost. So when coming up with what your house is worth, how much it would cost to do the renovations that you'd like to do, and then what the house will eventually be worth, they are going to have a leg up if they've got some experience in that field already. The last thing that they're going to do is they're going to put together the purchase agreement that helps you buy that new house. So one thing that we teach in our Makeover University course for the realtors is what kind of verbiage to put in that purchase agreement and what kind of additional terms to put in that purchase agreement to give you a little bit more time and give you a way out of the purchase of the home in the event the contractor can't get you a bid in time, financing falls through, the appraisal's too low, whatever it might be. There's some specific verbiage to put into that purchase agreement to make it work out better for you, the client. So, although we'd prefer that you work with one of our already Makeover preferred realtors, you can by all means recommend that your current realtor check out our Makeover University course, learn the ropes, learn the process, because ultimately it's going to give you a much, much better experience, and it's going to make your life much easier, and you're going to have a lot more fun.